are part of that overall celebration, like OSP, sometimes contracts and grant accounting, although they tend to get the brunt of some of the complaints also. But really, compliance is about telling people what to do and how to do it. And that makes it quite difficult at times for people to understand and appreciate the work that we do. The world of, I sort of fell into the world of compliance. My background is really sort of STEM related. My undergraduate degree is in biology, like a lot of research administrators are. But I spent a significant amount of time in my career doing biomedical research. And from that, I learned about really just kind of analyzing and looking at metrics and data in a way to kind of see where there may be trends or information. And I do a lot of that right now in the office. We look at a lot of metrics for that's mentioned within the article: turnaround time, just looking at if we're having issues with people completing tasks. Are we meeting the needs as far as our aspirational peer institutions or not? What are we having? Where are our struggles? Some of the things that we collect anyway are really turnaround time, whether or not things are complete. Are we looking at issues, whether or not it's for IRB, ICOOK, IBC, because we cover a lot of things in our office. We're sort of that one-stop shop for all things research compliance on our campus. I used to always joke that, we do all these things that nobody else wants to do. Well, now, I don't know if you all have noticed, but what I've noticed around the country, that now they're like a general compliance office at a lot of institutions. Now, don't expect them to necessarily take on the responsibilities of what the research compliance office will do, because they tend to look at a number of things. We have a general compliance office, ethics and compliance office on our campus, and they focus on a number of things campus-wide that are not research related. We are connected with them in the sense that there are some things that are important for us to see. So, but back to the topic at hand related to motivating your team, some of the things that I've done in the past is, you may not necessarily be able to change anything about salaries, but I'm always putting in or looking at information related to salaries. That's like the number one thing that people look at. Oh, where's my salary? Now, let's be honest, the pandemic has changed a lot of where salaries are right now, to the benefit or detriment of an organization. But what it has done, I think, is made organizations really look at what this means, because so many places are allowing people to continue to work remotely. And with that, you can live anywhere and work for an organization. So I've seen, but it's going to be interesting how this all sort of works out, because I've seen some institutions talk about where they're really going to base the salary on your geographic location. Well, I think that's kind of a cop out. If I have a position with an institution in, let's just say, California, and then I'm still living in Alabama, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and Roll Tide for all those that love Alabama. How does that work? But you may not have that ability, which is what this article was really about. So what are we doing? We celebrate. We have standard staff meetings, and we identify something that is outside of the norm of the regular job. Somebody went above and beyond. You want to highlight that for the individual. Is there someone that a faculty member that contacts me, identifying that someone was so helpful to them or something that was special about the exchange. So I will, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that as a part of what, other people can do. Now, to go a little bit further, one of the things that I've done is to share that with the vice president who I report to. So reporting that to the vice president about special things that happen. And why is that important? Is because related to compliance, the primary interaction he has, or he or she has, with about compliance from the faculty is the faculty complaint. So how do we fix that situation to talk about things that are good? Now, I have to say, in talking with our vice president recently, he said, I've been at 4 institutions. He said, and I could say that the majority of the complaints I get around compliance is related to someone being the faculty member not doing what they should. But they're complaining about that. So it's good to send that information up the chain so that they're aware of what's going on and what's important. We have, one of the things is like we're talking about the changes in staffing and what we have going on now. It's important to celebrate your new people and what they're doing related to whether or not they hit some type of milestone in what they're doing. They've been able to do a certain number of whatever it is. They've been able to break the mold on interacting with the faculty, but talking about those things and learning about your employees and what motivates them. Some people are only motivated by money. Some people are motivated by praise. Some people are motivated by trinkets, and I talk about that in the article. If you got some swag that you can get and share with them, we have some swag within the Office of Research and Economic Development that I'll get and give to them. I also will reach out to other people on campus, other departments, colleges, if they have something to share with folks. If they have, I also get things, I spend my own money to get them gift cards and different things, $10, $20 that, won't hurt me at all. But it means the world to them. And so knowing about the types of things that they like, whether or not it's that they like coffee. Now, somebody doesn't drink coffee, even though they can go get a Frappuccino, you probably don't want to give them a Starbucks card. But if it's whether or not it's Chick-fil-A or anything else that you can share with them, I think that's key to be able to do that. Also, it's important to use the accolades that people get from the faculty and staff that write in, use that as a part of the performance evaluation time so that you can write something, everybody who's a supervisor, you got to write something about the individual. It's great to have some of that you have sitting there that you have available to write about what somebody has said about someone. I use OneNote to keep up with that information. I drop all those things into OneNote so that when it comes time, I can just pull that out and write about the individual. And it also helps to motivate other employees that you have who may not be doing quite as well. And I think people feel appreciated when you do this. So, really, this is really just set up to be a discussion about what you all have seen, what you all may be doing to celebrate wins. One of the other things is to not, if you don't do anything else, is to remember if it is at all possible, not to use the metrics that you collect for a negative experience, for it to be, used against them as far as evaluations are concerned. But that way, people tend to not dread the aspect of the metrics that you're collecting and that you're analyzing. It takes time. Oh my goodness, it takes time. And we all get 24 hours in a day, but it will do the most for your team to know that you are supporting them and appreciate the work that they do. So it's just trying to balance really the negative feedback that they get from some faculty, and then because you tend, like I said, you tend to have more of that, but having more of that positive part. Have there been anybody that y'all are all nobody's showing their face, but anybody doing anything that's unique? So Lainey's there.
Here I am, I'll pipe up. I don't think I've done anything unique, but I think everything that you've said is spot on. And to me, even though I wasn't managing a compliance team, I was managing a center team, but research administration, a lot of what we do is compliance anyway, right? And a lot of interactions are negative and no, I can't, or that's hard, or everybody hates us, or any of that. I do find that, like you said, a Starbucks gift card from me personally, and a little like, thank you so much for what you do card just would mean the world to people who were feeling even just discouraged, or wow, we're overloaded, or why can't we get paid more? And I also think if you have the capability in your office or at your institution to be a little flexible with time, understanding that people are humans with families, and even if your institution can't get there, if you've got a little time in your office, or you can be like, you can go a little early today and take care of your personal business, that meant so much to the staff. And I think if you can engage the employees like that, they just end up working so much harder for the institution. It's kind of like a good cycle. And I do think it's that celebrating wins and really just showing sincere appreciation for what people do, because it's hard work. And sometimes it can be really an emotionally heavy lift, when you just feel attacked all day. So that's my input.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Reminds me of an employee that I had that went really above and beyond what was necessary, took on something. We had someone to accept one of those remote positions to do that. And she was, what I did was allow her to leave, every Friday for like a month early. So it meant the world to her to be able to do that. So, that type of thing.
A lot. It means a lot. And a little bit, and it's painless to the office, but means, like you said, means the world to an employee. I just think, and I do honestly always have appreciated everybody so much that it's almost impossible to explain, how much you appreciate them.
Yeah. And occasionally I'll buy lunch. Nothing that the university will reimburse me for. It is out of my pocket. And but I think that it's important to tell them, what, you're important. You mean a lot to us. We can't, and that's something that I say a lot. We cannot do this without you. We cannot do this without you. I'm one person. I cannot do everything, and nor would I dream of doing that. And so your contribution to what we do is extremely important. And, I always say, every team associated with research administration is important, but I try to make sure that the compliance team understands that they're engaged the entire life cycle of that award in most times. And so making sure that they get, that part and understand, because they miss that sometimes. They really miss that. They feel disconnected because they're not out, celebrating with the folks over in OSP, even though we're now connected as far as the office is concerned to them. But it really helps them to understand that, because it gets rough around here sometimes. So
We have a couple of comments in the chat. I don't know if Katie or Mark want to unmute and share their comments. If not, I can read them.
I was just going to make another comment to follow up that compliance is typically viewed as being on the wrong side, even though they have the best interests of the university and of that researcher in mind.
yeah, that's a good point. It's good if you can get the support of the administration in the colleges. I was over in the College of Engineering today talking with the new faculty. We had a new faculty session. They have a series that they do. But what was really helpful was for the dean to echo what I was saying or supporting, saying that, compliance is not the enemy, that we're on the same team. They're here to help you as much as possible. And that's true for all research administrators. We're here to help. And Jennifer was saying something about someone, we give of ourselves 100% beyond the call of duty. We work when we're sick and all these other things, trying to make sure that things continue. But I think that it's important that it's recognized, but it's good to hear that back from the colleges or the schools saying that they understand and support that. So good point, Mom.
So we have a comment from Sandra. She said, I sat on an employee recognition committee where I was able to sway leadership to implement the use of Nectar. And this has served as a platform where we are all able to show appreciation to others throughout my institution. Can you tell us a little bit more about Nectar, Sandra?
Yeah, I guess it's kind of like a social media, but for companies. And it's a kudos to, like, you're able to give kudos and points, and we've built it, the framework is built upon our core values. So we're able to like hashtag core value efficiency or hashtag thank you for everything you've done. I mean, and just kind of like how you were speaking about giving just a little gift card to Starbucks or a little, hey, thank you, just to go a little above and beyond outside of your means. It's a nice platform, but it did cost money for the institution. So they allow us 100 points, which is equivalent to, I want to say, $10 a month. So they gift us this $10 to gift to others in our institution.
Wow.
Where in turn, so and the other thing is that you can either use the points, eventually you'll accumulate them, and you can use them for the cafeteria, like the gift card to the cafeteria that we have at our institution, or you can exchange it for gift cards, kind of like Amazon has all these gift cards that you can choose from. So it's same concept, but
Okay.
it's a really cool
Great
platform.
idea.
It's called
Wow.
Nectar.
All right, I just looked that up and I sent the link for the site there. So the people, thanks, Sandra, that is great.
You're welcome.
I'll keep that in the back of my mind. Make a note about it. Make a note about it. Anybody else got anything? Yeah. Yeah, I agree that compliance is a matter for all. Yeah, if you have that non-compliance, That was another thing we were talking about this early this morning, is that, if it's a non-compliance can impact, your non-compliance can impact other people. So it may be that, you're a faculty member or staff member, you do something wrong, but you may prevent someone else from being able to do the work that they want to, because it puts a black eye on the institution, or we have to give some money back. Heaven forbid that we have to do that in that type of situation. So yes, it's a big deal. One of the things that I learned from one of my social worker friends, and we haven't done it in this space, but we've done it before. We have what I call it's the wow board. And these are things that you can post that are, and I guess you could use it for any type, or you could do it on a digital platform too. Just talking about, this is what somebody did that's outside. Like you do it in the staff meeting, you could also post it as something that's to be celebrated. So people, as they come by, whether or not you do it near the break room or somewhere else, that folks can see this is something new that has been added. But you can do that digitally as well, because since we have so many people who are, well, I wonder if Nectar will give you that type of thing, but you could do that type of thing as far as the board, to celebrate things that are going on. If you got that email or that personal note, and I do write a lot of personal notes to my staff. So for the things that I gave them at the holiday, I wrote a note to them about, their contributions to the office and what that meant to me personally. It means something to the institution, but what does it mean to me personally? And so, that, I had a couple of people come and say, thank you so much for saying that. It meant a lot to me, or it means a lot to me, makes me feel like, what I do is important. So
I had attended a session on communication at one time, and the individual that did it said that what they do internal to their organization is they do a internal newsletter, and it only recognizes and celebrates the things that are happening internally within his department, his group. And and then they put up, like, in the newsletter they do, like, shout out, like weddings, birthdays, baby births, things that the staff has accomplished. And I thought that was a really good idea too, because it also, those items that, those things that, we, that, is not urgent, you don't need to know right now, but you can have like a little news section that that talks about a little bit about updates and regulation changes, things that's coming down the pipe, that you share internally with your group. But I thought that was a really good idea, and one of these days I'm going to do that. So I really think it's a good,
Laurie, when are you gonna have time to do that? I mean,
actually, I'm gonna do it because I'm a delegated, right? So that's the.
I did find that having a younger student, not even a student, like just a younger person in the office who had an admin person, had a little bit of time and a little bit of creativity, was able to create a newsletter for us. And it wasn't just kudos or shout outs, and some of it was, but it was even things like, here are the pets of them, everybody's pets, send in your pet photos, and it
right,
kind
and
of created,
it was things like that, right? Have one of those, where pre-COVID, we used to do an annual Halloween party. The Office Sponsored Program will host one for the campus, and so we're not doing that anymore, but so things like that. So any event that we celebrate, we had a couple of people get married, and we got, so we're going to start, so I'm sort of like jotting down areas, topics that can be part of this newsletter. It doesn't have to be anything big, right? But it's just basically what you're doing is celebrating the accomplishments of your staff internal to the organization.
Yeah, and it makes everybody feel so connected.
Yes, right. Come up with, one of the things that one of the persons I was talking to about is that you can have like a page that deal with what's your favorite recipe or something like that. So just do some things, but it's internal to the organization, right? And keep, and maybe we were looking at, we had talked about maybe once a quarter, do it once a quarter, right? So as not to put an enormous amount of pressure or another deadline on top of all the other deadlines that we have. So, you know, I think that'd be really neat to have a department newsletter.
That's a great idea.
I'd like to add, if I can, we recently started our newsletter in November or October, and it's been a lot of fun. I have a staff of 4 and myself, so we just incorporated into our biweekly staff meeting for ideas, and our department head wanted it to not just be informational, but a little bit of fun. So we put some work appropriate silly jokes in there,
Right.
and the recognitions and things that y'all are talking about, but it's a very simple 1-page newsletter. But we really enjoy collaborating on that. That's something that's not a pressure thing to do. It's not stressful. It's not really demanding, but it's fun. So if you haven't started it, I really encourage you to start it and with your staff. And it's like a stress release more for us.
Right. You know,
Relief.
and so I think it'd be really neat, especially at the, you know, the end of the person that I'm talking about it is, they're talking with her about it, really likes to do things like that. So it'd be neat if she do what topic she decide or have a theme for each quarter on what the newsletter is going to be about. But I just think that's some way where we can, you know, just recognize and celebrate internally what we're doing here.
That's a great way to connect, especially for teams that are still fully remote.
Right.
I mean, we have weekly meetings and we're constantly on Zoom. And we celebrate birthdays during our team meetings and all, but the idea of having a newsletter and just, expanding on that and what's going on in people's lives, I think that's a great idea.
Right. So I think so too. So we're gonna get one rolling out here pretty soon and everything. But we're coming up with all kind of ideas. We're even asking, individuals within the department, what would you like to see in that? You know, give us some ideas for some titles or headlines for the newsletter, and really want to sort of keep it. You know, we don't want it to turn into a full, a book or anything like that. We just want just to share, share what's going on, with us, things like this. I think it's going to be great.
This is good. I'm working on my list. Thank you, Tina. That's good.
Hey, Tanta.
Hey, Casey.
How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good. So I just wanted to comment that, yeah, I've used my own, money for gift certificates and things. And when it was something really big, like we just finished our AHARP accreditation, a gift certificate for a facial is just like, yeah, really good, reward. Like take the afternoon off, go get yourself a pampered. But one other thing people really appreciate is like something as simple as a new keyboard or a big monitor, and you can use, the better thing about that is you can use your office budget for those items. But I mean, just this morning we had 3 new laptops come in and passing them out. But you would have thought it was Christmas because people were so excited to get that updated equipment.
I want to comment on that. That is super great idea and super easy to overlook. And sometimes I notice staff, they're afraid to ask for, they think money's tight or whatever, but gosh, I could really use a nicer mouse to help me with my Excel speed, or my chair, it's really hurting my butt, but they won't tell you that. And one thing that my previous director did, he installed, and basically it was a big TV, a big monitor on the wall in my office to use as an additional monitor. So when people came in the office and I had to show them things, they weren't hovering around behind my desk. And it was like, yeah, kind of like you say, Casey, like Christmas. And so then everybody in the office, we ended up getting one. That's a few $100s a piece. And a lot of other offices would come in and they'd be like, oh, why do you have the giant 56-inch monitor on your wall? And I'm like, watch, let me show you. And it was really a small thing that meant a lot. And another thing that I did that was really small is I let everybody paint their office kind of whatever color. The office paid for it. We had, a couple $100 to paint an office, but I would give them that whole big color wheel, like, here you go. And they just, I had one was lavender, one was green. Maybe every university wouldn't do that because they want you to stay within their university colors, but we were off campus and nobody was paying attention to us. So I think as long as we paid for it, they didn't care.
Yeah, as much time as we spend in our offices, if we can make it more enjoyable and a more pleasant place, and then things like that to make us more efficient, then ultimately it benefits the university. I agree.
I also think just, even smaller things, just acknowledging the struggles in the world around us. When COVID first hit my old place of institution, they literally just brought in toilet paper for all of us, which, as you all know, was quite the commodity back then. But just acknowledging that and like giving everybody, knowing like, we know it's hard outside of work too. Here's something that can just help. Just that little thing was just like, thank you so much. Like, I can't find this anywhere.
One of the things I was just thinking about is if your campus has those electronic announcements, say for instance, it's something that was sort of big, they'll allow you to add things to it, and it'll be very good or surprising too, especially if they didn't know. But there was something that was really great that you could put that cycled on the board for a week. And people could see that. So we see all kinds of stuff that, celebration of things. Like say, for instance, related to compliance, if someone got their CIP, and or some other sort of CRA or something that you could put it and run it through that board. Ours runs through strategic communications, but you can get on the listing of that. And that'd be something that people like, oh, wow, okay, and have their picture up and what it is, so that it just cycles through around campus. So we have those in every building. So, you could do that.
That's a super cool idea.
Anything else? I got a lot of things that I feel like I can do. What do you all think of things that just that does not work? You've reached the point of saying, you know what, that just wasn't. That didn't jazz them up enough for me to even deal with it.
Zoom happy hour.
Yeah.
So exhausting and so tiring and so awkward and not helpful to anyone. my humble opinion.
I think Zoom in general is very much like an in-person meeting that should have been an email kind of deal. So yeah, remember that everybody's got fatigue from all of the meetings, all of the Zoom. It is exhausting, so Zoom happy hour, I've done some of those, but it just, now I kind of avoid them as much as I possibly can.
Same. I think it was novel, 2 years ago, but then after you're kind of like, gosh, I've been staring at you guys on this monitor all day, and now I just want to drink wine by myself. And so, or with my husband, I don't want to make any more small talk about work, or it just, my experiences, they were not that useful and didn't really help. It didn't help me feel engaged as part of a team. And the extroverts would show up and the introverts, of course, would not. And then it's the same four of us talking to each other again. I just felt like kind of counterproductive. So.
Right. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, no, that may work. I could be that, I could do that, Ashton. I could do that. I could do some trivia.
Yeah.
I can do that. That's a great spin on that whole Zoom happy hour.
Has anybody done anything like a Zoom lunch together, or is that still too much? I have not. It just occurred to me like we're doing right now, chatting and lunching, or does anybody even go to lunch anymore?
We did, but it felt like the happy hour. So that's why we had to add that game element to it, because just staring at each other, watching each other eat, there was never any good conversation. There was nothing. But we found when we added like a game to it, it just felt more like a break rather than a meeting.
That's cool. That's a good idea.
Yeah. So what we did over lunch one time is we've done it twice since we've been working, remote. It's the murder mystery, and we did that, and we had lunch and did the murder mystery at the during the lunchtime. So they really enjoy it, and they really participate and get into their character. So that's the really fun thing about it. So we've done that twice.
We did a session of painting with a twist. It was like a 2-hour session, and it was all virtual, and we joined in, and that was a lot of fun because you're able to talk while you're going through the process of painting this picture. And I'm not in any way artistic, but it actually came out halfway decent. So that was really fun for our group.
Keep adding. Oh, family story hour. Wow, that's a good one.
Yeah, we have a lot of people in our office that have younger children, and so we did like family story hours. It was really effective, especially during like when all the schools are shut down and that type of stuff. So it's something that we've been able to do, and then it also gives that employee a little bit of time of they can actually take a breath. So it was just really it was something that was really great that we did it once a week, especially when the schools were shut down.
That's great idea. I put that down too. I got it all, putting it all down. There's a lot of stuff to use. This is great. A question for Gloria. Was the murder mystery made up by your team, or was it through some kind of program?
Here, right quick. So no, actually it's through a program, and I'm pasting the link here now in case anybody is interested in it. It's really good. All right, so there's the link to it. And they have different, so you can pick different scenarios and things and stuff on what you want to do. You get to, just go through and look at different games. We did the ugly sweater holiday party, murder at the ugly sweater party, and we did the one we did bullets on Broadway. So it's they have some pretty good ones, right?
Okay.
You can and it's not expensive at all. It really isn't. It isn't at all. So it's a really great way to bring the team together via Zoom. You can do it at lunchtime. So we do it at lunch because if you try to do anything after 4 o'clock, it's not going to happen. So
No.
yeah, but
okay.
So
Gloria, I know you all used to do some other things too. Can you tell folks about some of the other activities your team have done? I know y'all have done like scavenger hunts and a whole bunch of different stuff.
We've done so we have the scavenger hunt. We've created we've done an escape room type scavenger hunt throughout the campus. We always have a Iron Bowl party, which I am actually, I just torment the heck out of all of them because they're all pro Alabama, and I just latch on to Auburn, and so I root for so we have the Iron Bowl party. We do, let's see, We have a org day. We used to have an org day, right? So and we did that we brought in post-award contract grants in the county, and we would we would have an org day. So it's a cookout and everything, right? Games. We come up with games. We have volleyball. Any kind of, just set up different games and stuff. So we try to do things first of all, it's part of building the team, right? So you work it, getting the team to work together, but it also is a way to just take a break from just working all the time, right? In the office and everything. So we do a lot of things here in the office, or we used to. And I think that's what I really miss more than anything is the fact that we had that camaraderie, right? We could get together, we can plan events. Everybody really loved planning for the org day, or the Iron Bowl, or usually my folks would find any reason to cook, right? So I mean, one day we actually did a fish fry in our building, which was not. There's a lot of people in the building who weren't happy with that.
Oh my goodness. Oh, Gloria.
We've done a seafood boil. We just anything just come up with I tell them that any reason to eat, they'll come up with a reason to eat. But it's just one of the things that we used to do on Friday is we would have we'd do like a karaoke thing, and so it was and we will, individuals will compete against each other on who did it best, so we do things like that. But it was just, it really brought the whole group together, the team together and stuff. So we were able, so it's a lot of things you can do internally with your group, when you're at the situation. So we have now basically moved over to doing things like the murder mystery, right? Because of Zoom, and you can't come together and everything like that. But
I think there's some options on the karaoke for a virtual setting. I remember seeing something for somebody. So there's a possibility of I added that to the list, Gloria, I'm gonna go out there and look for it.
Yeah, that'd be neat. Yeah. So, but
yeah, they've always done a whole bunch of things. Gloria's great at team building, because she's always doing things to get that to team together so that they work well. And
we were very competitive with things that were going, like homecoming here, the decorations and things like that. So the building decorations and the group decorations, and we were killing them. I mean, we were winning every year, so at some point they start changing the rules on us midway, thing like that. But, we will always participate in anything that the campus had going on, as, when it's a group activity and stuff. So, anything, as I see things going on, think of things, and I pitch it to them and see how they, what they feel about it. And if they like it, we do it, So, we have a wall with all of our plaques and everything on where we were killing them every year for homecoming decoration stuff. Then they decided to change the rules on it. So I guess they wanted new winners. Yeah, so, but we're fine.
Oh, I tell you. Yes. Excellent. Those are great. Check out the murder mystery and all of that too. We did something recently. We're mainly back on campus, except as, people need to be out for whatever it may be, children or whatever. Masked, just a whole bunch of different things that you have to do. But we had a tailgate that went well. You just really basically came through, got your food, and you went back. You kind of saw people when you were in that space, but you went back. It wasn't like the usual tailgate that you just kind of hang out with everybody, but it gave us a chance to kind of put on the school colors, and they had a cutout of Nick Saban up front, and people took pictures with them as they came through, and then went back to their own space to really just eat their food. So, you know, there are ways around sort of the issues with that. So you set up different ways to deal with the issue. One of the things for us as far as what we call a retreat, but it was really just sort of playing games. We went out to, university owns a cabin. So we went up to the cabin, and this is pre-COVID with all of the cabin stuff, but went up, spent the day there. We had a couple of folks had boats and things, so it was right on the lake. So we went out riding and doing all that kind of stuff. So, you know, people appreciated that, okay, this is a day away from the grind of everything. But I think it's good to give folks that opportunity to go and do something different. Kind of like we talked about with the person who got to have those half days to go out and just enjoy. It really made it fun for on a Friday. So that was really good. But you know, some of the things that you see that people doing related to social media, and we, you know, see how you can translate those items to what you can do with the office as far as trying to motivate the team, celebrate with them about things. As people who are here are supervisor or they have a team, advocating for your team for those things, kind of like with where you can use your budget, like Casey mentioned about new keyboards, and we all now have new laptops, and you know, a couple of folks got some new monitors and keyboards and things, and they're happy with that. It was the funniest thing is that the two people needed printers, and so they have access to a central printer and all of that, but we got those two printers in last week. They were the most excited in the world about having that. Another thing that I do just occasionally here and there, for the folks that may be working in the office at the time, I'll grab the coffee and I bring it in. They may not be unaware. I'll know who's already in the office for the day, and I'll grab the coffee based on what they like. I already know, because I have a note in my phone about what people like, and I will bring it in and I just drop it at their desk and I keep moving. So, you know, things like that, just trying to keep one thing, keep everybody safe, but they still feel like, you know, they're excited about the opportunity. And you know, so those are a lot of things there. I got a long list. I'm gonna put it back up again since I added some more things. But anything else? Martha's very quiet over there.
Hi, everybody. I'm listening. I don't have a whole lot of good stuff to add, though, so.
Oh, my goodness. There you are.
I'm here, yeah.
It's interesting. I am headed to Kentucky, where you were a few weeks ago.
Yeah? What you gonna do up there?
Just look for stuff related to the Incura Region 3 meeting. This next meeting is there, but we hadn't had a chance to kind of see the space. So take a
In Lexington?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Lexington's a nice place. Traffic's kind of rough, but that's because it's such a wonderful place. Everybody wants to go there.
I want to go there.
Yeah, the last 2 times I've been up there, the weather was horrible, and so I'm glad that I live in Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be nice to live in Florida, even at 60 degrees. Yeah. Yeah. So.
They've been complaining about, you heard them complaining about the temperatures today, though. So
yeah. I would love to have 60 degrees here today.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that'd be great. Anybody have anything else? Don't everybody just jump on it at one time, you know. Let me see if I see anybody else I recognize on here.
Definitely all great suggestions. I definitely am looking forward to implementing some of these.
Yeah, we're better together.
Mhm.
Casey, I know it was one thing I wanted to say. I know you used to on your site, you always had like a little snippet about the folks on your page, kind of something a little bit more personal than
You do better than me at looking at our social media, Tanta. I'm terrible, but we have somebody in our office who enjoys kind of keeping it updated, and it was her idea, and I thought it was fantastic to just kind of highlight each person in the office and, you know, talk about their experience at the university and also a little bit about them personally too, according to what they felt comfortable sharing. But yeah, that was fun. And we have Bully Watch too on campus that we can nominate people for. And if you basically kind of catch them doing something good and turn their name in. And if you do, they get highlighted in the staff council newsletter, and they get a little goodie bag with some swag in it, like you said, like a cowbell and a t-shirt and stuff like that.
yeah, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I kind of like that idea.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you could go within your own unit, or you could go across the entire campus with that kind of thing. And that's, you know, that's a big deal for people to know that somebody else is observing them and using them as a good example.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one. I like that. They started something like that here, but it's just been kind of inconsistent for us. I think there were a lot of changes over in strategic communications, but it's a great idea. I just added that also to the list. Anything else, people? Oh, let's see here. Oh, hey, Michelle. We just started adding family photos of our folks for the training session so they can see us in a different light. Okay. Michelle used to be here at the University of Alabama. She's now at the University of Alabama at Birmingham, UAB. Anybody else? Anything? I hope these have been helpful suggestions. And she can't sing to me. There's a microphone. Okay. We've done karaoke at several conferences together. So hope these have been helpful to you, and I'm thankful for everybody that's been who's here, but also who shared some of their ideas. I said that we're stronger together. We are definitely that. So, thanks so much for coming. Thanks so much for everybody for sharing their ideas and what you're currently doing. Tina, is it possible to have a copy of what you've been doing internally for your group?
Yeah, I mean, I can share with the group. How do you want me to share with you, on an email, or?
You could do it.
I can do a quick share screen. I have it. My computer set up. I keep our recent newsletter on my computer as its backdrop desktop, so I see it every day. So if I could do a quick screen share if it permits, or
I'm not sure if it will.
Let me see if I can give you sharing options. Try now.
Let me try to move my Zoom meeting. Let me clean it up a little bit. Can y'all see that?
Yeah.
So this is what we did for January, because we don't want all of the months to just be like shaking your finger at them to say, do this, do that. So we just put in some new reminders. You know, welcome to the new year, things we need to do for HR to get W-2s. We have some suggestions for work-life balance. So this one is one of our more, just more fun, less informational. There's different times of the year when things occur. We have more travel, so we remind people about policies and travel. And if we're experiencing a high flow of errors in a certain area, we just kind of bring that up in our email. We have a very diverse group, so we did our welcome to be sure to try to include all of the different, nationalities as we can. So we do birthdays, weddings, welcome new employees.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. I think the room is gonna close down.
Yeah, we have
here.
about 2 more minutes before our next session.
All right.
Well, thank you,
It's been
everyone.
fun. Thank you,
Yeah, it has.
everybody. Y'all are fantastic.